Okay, Darren Hunter here, and I want to go through the consequences of discounting. These are the things that are coming your way, whether you like it or not, if you get caught up in the race to the bottom, the game of discounting. So let's just go through these consequences here. Consequence number one, the decline of sustainability with the race to the bottom. At the end of the day, it's just not sustainable. And a lot of agents get caught up in this, I'll just be 1% cheaper than the other, and then someone else goes 1% cheaper than you, and so forth. It just keeps on going on and on. It just isn't sustainable. And here is a point too, is that when you come to sell your rent roll, if you've got a lot of discount fees, don't expect to get a market rate multiplier. You may have to discount your multiplier as well as your discounted management fee base. It just makes the end value of your rent roll so much lower of what someone is prepared to pay for it, because of the problem of having so many discount fees that they now have to carry for a period of time before they can possibly increase those fees. They've got to finance that downfall, that difference, for a period of time. And they may not actually know how to increase their fees. So they may be looking at having to carry those discounts forever. It just makes your rent roll so unattractive and just unsustainable, particularly in this day and age where quality property managers are demanding so much more now. If you want them working for you, you've got to have quality fees, because discount revenue and fees is not going to pay quality salaries. Let's just admit it. All right, 50% of an agent expenses can be with salaries. It's such a huge amount. And it's just going up and up. You cannot get caught up in the game of discounting. You've got to stop competing on fees and compete on service and added value by putting in a lot of effective points of difference that bring value to the prospective client. Now, I'm reading this out of my book, Win Your Worth Secrets. We've got the consequences of discounting in here, the reasons why agents discount, but more than that, it's a whole book on how to get the best fees with new business, getting the highest quality fees in your market, but also how to do it, increase fees with your current clients as well. The people that have implemented this are finding an extra $500 to $1,000 extra per property per year. And particularly when they do increasing their fees with their current clients, they lose a very small sustainable amount, usually some bad clients. It's all in the book here, all my experience. The book is free. We've paid for the printing. All you've got to do is pay for the shipping. Just go to igtcentral.com for all of our books there, and also all of our podcasts. Moving on. Okay, so that was consequence number one. Let's talk about consequence number two. Cheap fees attract cheap owners. Oh my goodness me. Just like a flame attracts a moth. All right, it really is that the only type of people you think by having cheap fees, you're doing it for growth reasons. And I've talked about it in another video. Your growth rates do not speed up or slow down in accordance with how expensive or how cheap your fees are. Rent roll growth strategies do that, all right? But with if you go cheap enough, you're going to become a magnet for those cheap clients that do care about cheap fees, and they're the toxic clients. So you end up with a lot more of a percentage of your rent roll with toxic clients. The more toxicity you bring into your rent roll, the more that your quality staff do not want to work there anymore. And you end up pushing people out because it's too difficult and the people are too difficult to manage. All right, the toxicity levels go too high. It's a bit like walking through Chernobyl. The radiation levels are just too high. You don't want to rent roll where the toxicity levels are too high. Okay. All right. Next is good property managers are repelled. If they've got a boss that's just saying, look, just go and discount, quality property managers are not going to respect you. They value property management. They don't value throwing their services away dirt cheap. You can actually push quality staff away when you have a discount mentality. They want to work in an agency where they feel secure, where they're going to be paid well. The game of discounting erodes all of that. All right, the next one, consequence number 4. Discounted business value. Again, if you discount so much, your multiplier can really get affected because you've got so many discounts. We talked about it before. And I've heard of situations where people end up with the value of a rent roll at 50% of what they thought it could be, because not only did they have discounted management fees, but the multiplier had to be discounted as well because the fees were just so low overall, well below market. You don't want a situation like that with a very nasty ending to what is a difficult job. You want a good reward at the end of the day when you're ready to throw in your chips or cash in your chips and sell your rent roll. Okay. Also, consequence number 5 is the inability to afford resources and quality staff. You're just not going to be able to get better training. You're not going to be able to get quality technology. You're not going to be able to afford it. You're not going to be able to afford quality salaries. It's all bad. You're going to end up with something that is unsustainable and something that cannot be controlled, and it'll just become a runaway train and just hurt you and everyone else. You don't want that. So again, there is 5 consequences of discounting. Make sure you get the book, Win Your Worst Secrets. Again, we've paid for the printing. All you've got to do is pay for the shipping. Go to igtcentral.com. Take care.